ceremony commemorates an important milestone in your physician assistant education, the transition from classroom education to your continued education in the clinical setting. While you'll continue to build on the knowledge and skills you acquired in the first 4 semesters of the program, I think you would now agree that it is in the clinical setting where the most important learning occurs. You've had to wait 3 months to celebrate this milestone, so just so we don't keep you waiting any longer, I'd like to have the PA class of 2022 stand up for the first round of applause this morning. You can go ahead and sit down. Welcome to the family and friends who are joining us in person today and those who are watching via the live stream this morning. While I haven't had the opportunity to meet you individually, I suspect that many of you have made personal sacrifices to allow these students to be here today, and I know that many of you have provided much needed emotional support to our students during these challenging times. Thank you for all that you've done and continue to do to support these students. It's wonderful to witness our students sharing this milestone with you, and I look forward to meeting you after the ceremony. To those of you who couldn't be with us in person this morning, I hope you're able to make it to Morgantown next May, because we just might have an even bigger celebration in store for these students. I want to extend a special welcome to our keynote speaker, who's waiting to speak live from California in just a few minutes, Dr. Sam Wijasinga. He'll be speaking in a few minutes, and I know you're really going to find his talk inspirational. I also want to extend a welcome to people sharing the stage with me, our Division of PA Studies faculty, Professor Nicole Ludwig, Professor Forrest Olgers, and Professor Greg Zelaski. I'll be talking a little bit more about them shortly, but I just wanted to let you know who's on stage. So before we go on with the rest of the program, I'm very honored to introduce a very special guest this morning. I've said many times, one of the things which really distinguishes our PA program is the strong support of university administration. Our first speaker this morning is evidence that this support goes all the way to the top. When I started in this position about 3 years ago, President Gee reached out to welcome me personally, and his continued support is a testament to his commitment to the success of this PA program. As a member of the WVU faculty and a proud parent of a graduate of the WVU class of 2021 and dental student class of 2025, I want to personally thank President Gee for his commitment to our students. We're extremely fortunate at West Virginia University to have a president who cares so deeply for his students. It is evident to anybody who knows him that President Gee cares not only about the academic success of his students, but also about their safety and their personal well-being. So although he's a man who really doesn't need any introduction, it is my extreme pleasure to introduce to you the president of West Virginia University, Dr. Gordon Gee.
Thank you. First of all, I apologize for wearing jeans. I thought this was an outdoor barbecue. Just kidding you. I am running between raindrops here today because of the fact that I have a couple of outdoor events that I've just been to one and I'm going to some others. So welcome everyone. Come on, welcome you guys. This is a big moment in your life and in our life too, because this is a new program. And one that we're so delighted that we have at this university, because I'm a hypochondriac and I need all the help I can get. And I tell everyone that I've been a university president for 41 years, if you can believe it. And a lot of people wish that weren't the case. But anyway, it has been one of the things that happens when you're in my position is the fact that you get great health care, because we've had these big academic medical centers that are important. So, you know, most people wait in line or a variety of other things, and I call up and someone shows up with a black bag. So it's a great opportunity. But our physician assistance program and physician assistants have been very much a part of my own health care. And I know their quality, their effort, their energy, what they can do in making certain that every West Virginian has great health care. We now can provide health care to about 80% of the people in this state, if you can believe it, through WVU medicine. And so we are grateful for that, having purchased or taken over about 23 hospitals. So there's a lot of work for you, and there's a lot of opportunity for you, and I just say that. So let me just say a couple of things. That you began your studies at a very life-altering moment. Because of the fact that we went into a pandemic. No one thought we were going to do that. No one had any idea how we would manage that. No one had any idea how you would be educated in that regard. But there is an opportunity here, and that is the fact that you've learned as healthcare providers that there's no long-term silver bullet. That we have to be very engaged as individuals in thinking about how we take care of other people and in managing that in ways that really make sense. So we've all learned from that. The second thing is that you've learned that you can do something virtually, right? You know, I used to think that I always had to do everything in person. In fact, I laugh about the fact that I never owned a pair of jeans in my life, and these are my COVID pants or something like that. But we have learned that we can do some things differently. Maybe not always better, but certainly in a way that allows us to provide opportunities. We have learned in terms of the provision of medicine that telemedicine is a great opportunity, and physician assistance programs provide great central focus in terms of those opportunities. So I want you to know that you have begun your journey in patient care, and you will experience more and more contact with patients. You've already started that. We were just heard in May. So why have a white coat? What is it about? Your white coat is a sign of your commitment to giving those patients the very best, most comprehensive and compassionate care. It's a sign that you're accepting the challenge to heal, to comfort, and to serve. In your patient's eyes, I would say that your white coat will be a symbol of wisdom, caring, kindness, and authority. In my eyes, at least, I want to say this to the parents as well as to our students, that this is a sign of West Virginia's land-grant commitment to the people of this state and the people of this nation. So we established 3 years ago this physician assistance program to improve health care in our region, and now we are doing it, and you are going to help make all that happen. So I see a fulfillment of our university's highest calling. So I congratulate you. I'm grateful that I can be here. I'm sorry that I have to leave. I was hunting for an escape hatch. I looked out there, and it was just a big hole. I had no idea what happened up there. You're wandering around for the next 2 or 3 days, but I really apologize for having to leave, but most importantly, I want you to know, Madam Chair, that I really appreciate you and all of you. Everyone have a great day. Thank you very much.
First and foremost, I want you all to know how proud I am of each and every one of you. As President Key said, you did not ask to do almost your entire physician assistant education in the midst of a devastating pandemic, but circumstances forced you to do so. And you did it, and continue to do it with grace and determination. I've enjoyed catching up with you these last few days, and I'm so impressed by your dedication to helping your patients and your insightfulness on the practice of medicine. I want you to know that I continue to learn from you, and I am inspired by you anew each time we meet. You may remember what I said to you during your orientation about 1.5 years ago. And if not, that's okay, because I'm going to remind you. And I understand that you had a little bit to memorize since that time. So one of the things that I told you during orientation was that like the birth of the first child makes one a parent, you, our first ever cohort of physician assistant students, will always be the ones who made us a PA program. So if you'll indulge me for just a minute or two, I'm going to continue that analogy a little bit further. As I look back on the first 4 semesters of your education and the unusual circumstances which we found ourselves in, I think it's fair to say that you had a rather turbulent infancy. And we as faculty learned that much like parenthood, developing a new PA program does not come with an instruction book. But despite the difficult circumstances, you demonstrated the extraordinary resiliency typical of childhood as you found your bearings as health profession students in the midst of the pandemic. As you progressed through this rigorous academic program, we faculty watched over you like worried parents and wondered whether you would be okay. And like proud parents, we were delighted as you acquired knowledge and learned new skills, despite the ever-increasing Zoom fatigue. And so, as you began your clinical year just a couple of months ago, I felt a bit like a nervous parent sending her child off into the world with dangers unknown. As it turns out, I needn't have worried, as you have excelled in the clinical setting. It has been a joy to welcome you home, to hear your stories, and to see the excitement in your faces as you describe your experiences caring for patients in our wonderful state. What I hope you'll remember is that even though we're not seeing you as often these days, like proud parents, we're always there for you, and we will always welcome you home. So I want to take just a minute for the people who don't know our faculty. I know our students have spent an awful lot of time with these three amazing people on the stage, but I want everybody else to know a little bit about them. So first over there, in the far chair is Professor Nicole Ludwig, Assistant Professor. Professor Ludwig teaches courses in diagnostic studies, behavioral health, evidence-based PA practice, and clinical medicine and pharmacology. She's a busy lady. Professor Ludwig is a certified physician assistant with clinical experience in student health and urgent care medicine at West Virginia University, emergency medicine at Ruby Memorial UPMC Mercy Hospital, and Westmoreland emergency medicine specialist. Professor Ludwig, is it okay if I go a little bit off script for just a minute? Our students know, and we all just found out a few weeks ago that Professor Ludwig is going to be leaving the university to take a position closer to her family in Pennsylvania. And though I've told her several times already, she's going to hear it again, I wanted to go on record so that she can go back and watch this whenever she feels the need, but she always has a place here in our program should she ever decide to come back to Morgantown. She's a tremendous asset to our program and loved by our students. I don't know if there are any Dance Moms fans out there. My daughter in the background, I've watched a few Dance Moms episodes, but despite what Abby Lee Miller always says, everyone is not replaceable. I hope that someday we can bring you back and form out in your PA family. Sorry. Okay. Moving it on, Professor Forrest Folgers is an assistant professor. He teaches important courses in physical diagnosis, clinical skills, and evidence-based PA practice, and clinical medicine and pharmacology. Professor Folgers is also a certified physician assistant with clinical experience in surgery at WVU hospitals and WVU Heart and Vascular Institute. Greg Slasky is an assistant professor and our director of clinical education. Professor Slasky has worked diligently over the past 2.5 years to identify clinical sites and preceptors and to implement our policies and procedures for the clinical phase of the program. In the didactic phase of our program, he teaches courses in physician assistant practice and diagnostic studies and assists Professor Folgers in our clinical procedures courses. Professor Slasky also is a certified physician assistant with clinical experience in hospitalist internal medicine at JW Ruby Memorial Hospital. Dr. Ben Silverberg is not here today, but he may be listening via the live stream. He's an associate professor and he's our medical director. He's a board-certified family physician and has dual appointments in the departments of emergency medicine and family medicine. He's also the new father of twins, so if you're listening, Dr. Silverberg, give a shout out to Lillian and Nathaniel. We want to meet them in person very soon. Dr. Silverberg's clinical experience includes WVU student health, urgent care, and travel clinic. Within the PA program, Dr. Silverberg teaches a course in prevention and community health and is involved in our curriculum review, program evaluation, and admissions process. He also serves on the School of Medicine's Committee on Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. So please join me in thanking all of our PA faculty one more time. It is now my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Mary Beth Mandich, Vice Dean of Professional and Undergraduate Programs. It's so wonderful to have you here with us in person this morning. Many of you watching are probably not aware that Dr. Mandich was really the driving force behind the development of this PA program. She recognized the important role that physician assistants have in reducing health disparities and worked tirelessly to build this program from the ground up. She continues to be a strong advocate for the program and all of our students, and I'm so grateful for her leadership and support. I'd like now to invite Dr. Mandich to say a few words to our students on this significant milestone in their academic career.
my pleasure to be here and congratulate all of you. As Dr. Moman said, in 2014, I was contacted by the then Dean of the School of Medicine who said, we have a critical workforce shortage and I want you to start a physician assistant program. And I was, naive, and I was like, sure, we'll do that. And I had not appreciated how much would go into starting this program, including your accrediting body, including the recruitment of a founding chairperson and faculty. And so when I am here today with you all, I feel like I've birthed a baby that's been in gestation for 7 years. I want to thank family. This is an incomprehensibly difficult program. And I know that the supports that you all have provided these students has been incredible. And so I really appreciate your support. I want to thank Dr. Moman and the faculty for all they have done to get this program started. And most of all, I want to thank you students. I have started several programs, and I know how difficult it is. What I have never experienced is a program where the students were on campus for 8 weeks or 10 weeks, and then the whole rest of the inaugural program went online. So I can't even begin to appreciate what you have been through. When you are the first, it requires a different level of dedication and patience, and I commend you for that. I had a founding faculty member of another program once say to me, it takes 3 years to get a course right, which means that 2 years after you guys have taken each of your courses, we will have them exactly the way they should be, in part based on your patience and your feedback with our developing program. But it all came to fruition for me just this week. I was in the hallway and a physician friend of mine stopped me and said, I wanted to tell you we have one of your students on rounds. I can't believe how good she was. She's ready to go right now. And I thought, what a tribute to you all and to your faculty for pulling that together under incredibly difficult circumstances. So again, thank you for your patience. Your legacy will allow us to make this physician assistant program better and better with each passing year. But you will always be the first class of WVU physician assistants. The last few words I have for you are a little bit about your role in healthcare. Now, this white coat ceremony is a little off cycle, like everything in our lives, and it should have happened before you started your clinicals. So I know that you are well into your clinicals. So maybe you can appreciate what I'm saying a little more than a student who is just starting. Healthcare in the United States is not, in large part, a positive experience for patients. People spend all day getting dressed to go see their primary care practitioner, getting their daughter to take off work, to drive them, to come see someone who they have saved up tons of questions and tons of experiences for. And they have given all of that to have the benefit of 5, 10, or 15 minutes with you. For the time you have with them, respect that privilege that you have and give them the utmost best of your expertise and clinical knowledge and wisdom. ceremonies about white coats because my core practice is pediatrics. And what do they do in pediatrics with white coats? They're scary, right? And it's because I think some people have used white coats as a way to separate themselves and show power and prestige. I urge you to think of the white coats you're getting today not as power and prestige, but service. You have the privilege of choosing a career of service to humanity, which will give you back infinitesimally more than you can give it. And I'll leave you with one quote that I have on my office that I've carried with me all these years. It's from Khalil Gibran, and it says, "Work is love made visible." And if you cannot work with love, it is better that you take your alms and sit by the gates of the temple for people who do work with love. So do you work with love? Celebrate your accomplishments. I am so humbled to be here today and so impressed with what you've accomplished, and will be so excited to see our first class of WVU physician assistant students walk across that stage next May. So congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Mandich. So at this time, I'm honored to introduce our keynote speaker for this inaugural WVU Division of Physician Assistant Studies White Coat Ceremony, Dr. Sam Wijesinga. Dr. Wijesinga is a clinical associate professor at Stanford School of Medicine Master of Science in Physician Assistant Studies program. That's a mouthful. He completed his physician assistant education at Union College, where he received a master's degree in physician assistant studies. He also holds a Doctor of Health Science degree with an emphasis in global health from A.T. Still University. He completed an HIV clinical fellowship at UCSF Fresno. Dr. Wijesinga has been an HIV/AIDS specialist for nearly 7 years and currently serves as one of the CDC's clinical ambassadors to end the HIV epidemic. He has worked in primary care medicine for more than 10 years, primarily in underserved communities, and currently practices at Adventist Health Medical Center in Fowler, California. Dr. Wijesinga is passionate about teaching the next generation of clinicians, and his clinical interests include primary care medicine, HIV medicine, and global health. Before Dr. Wijesinga begins his talk, I want to take a minute to share with you why I asked him to deliver this keynote address to you all today. I met Dr. Wijesinga about 3 years ago at a conference for PA educators, and I'm so proud to be able to call him a colleague and a friend. If I had to describe him using just a few words, I would use the words caring, genuine, welcoming, compassionate, and hopeful. That's more than a few words, I think. He shares with me a desire to teach our health profession students the importance of compassion. In the preface to his recently published book, Dr. Wijesinga notes that there are some who believe that compassion, being an innate quality, cannot be taught. While I believe that compassion is indeed an innate quality, I share his belief that it can also be taught. There are many educators who can teach students the medical knowledge necessary to diagnose and treat disease, but far fewer who are dedicated to teaching students the value of compassion. Dr. Wijesinga is one such educator, and I know that once you hear him talk, you'll agree. So at this point, I turn the microphone over to you, my friend.
Good morning, everyone. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Okay, excellent, excellent. Dear President, faculty, staff, family, friends, and our special group here, the PA class of 2022. It's gratifying to be here at the PA program at West Virginia School of Medicine. It is truly an honor to share this extraordinary, unique moment with you all by delivering the keynote speech during your first ever white coat ceremony. Thank you, Dr. Mormon, for your kind introduction. By the way, Dr. Mormon is someone whom I highly appreciate and admire. As a physician and as a program director, her dedication to PA education is so inspiring. As she mentioned during the introduction, I wear a few hats. I am in a profession in which I can make a difference in someone's life every single day. I am excited that you too have initiated that journey to make a difference in someone's life every single day. As we are celebrating this white coat ceremony, I am convinced that you are on your way to become amazing PAs. So what is the purpose of the white coat? Why is it significant? Today you are receiving a white coat. This means that you are starting your journey in medicine to become a clinician in the future. So today is the day that you are honored to start that journey. So there are many things that I can say about the white coat, but I firmly believe one of the meaningful things that we can talk about is what patients think about you when you wear your white coat. When I was giving my first white coat ceremony keynote speech, that happened a few years ago, I wanted to find the answer to that question. So at that point, I spoke to some of my patients and asked them this question: what does this white coat mean to you? So I was wearing the white coat, and then I went and spoke to my patients and I asked that simple question: what does this white coat mean to you? And there are 5 most common answers that I got from my patients. So the number 1, professionalism, and then compassion, and trust, confidence, and hope. So as you wear your white coat today and in the future, please keep those words in mind. Please let me repeat them. When you wear your white coat, and this is how patient sees you: someone with professionalism, someone with compassion, someone whom they can trust, and someone with confidence to take care of their medical conditions, and finally, someone who will bring hope to their lives. So my message to you, as you are reaching this extraordinary milestone, what is my message to you, the class of 2022? So essentially, my message focuses on 2 fundamentals. I want you to remember them not only as a PA student, but also as a clinical PA. So number 1, comprehensive care to your patients. And number 2, interprofessional collaboration. So comprehensive care has 2 parts: evidence-based medicine and art of medicine. So let's focus on that for a moment. Evidence-based medicine is the medical practice or care that highlights the practical application of the findings from the best available current research. When I read your program's mission and goals, it's very clear that evidence-based medicine is one of the priorities of the program. So therefore, I will not spend much time on this, as I'm aware your program is committed to train you with evidence-based medicine. So now let's focus on art of medicine, also known as bedside skills or compassionate skills. Compassion is fundamental to the delivery of healthcare, something that patients, families, clinicians, and policymakers all agree upon. The first principle of American medical education cites compassion as being necessary in the delivery of care. According to the Code of Ethics, a clinician shall be dedicated to providing competent medical care with compassion, and respect for human dignity and rights. So consequently, PAs are expected to practice medicine with compassionate care. Sharon Barrage, who is a PA, wrote an article called What Happened to the Art of Medicine. Her article has a powerful message. I read that in 2011 and it really touched my heart. So I want to share some of the things from that article. But first, I would like to ask you a question at this moment. I want you to reflect on this for a minute. Do you think every patient we see fits into the evidence-based medicine algorithm that we have been taught to use? Do you think every patient we see fits into that evidence-based medicine algorithm that we have been taught to use? Think about that. The answer is no, and this is where the art of medicine plays a key role. The art of medicine can be defined as being how we apply evidence-based medicine to each and every patient that we interact. In short, the art of medicine helps us treating each and every patient as an individual. According to the article that I was referring to, the art of medicine involves several components: caring for patients, showing honest concern and compassion, giving patients clear time, not rushing in and out of the exam clinic room, being patient with them, and having great bedside manner. And then understanding that every patient is an individual who has individual circumstances that affect their lives. Then also helping every patient to obtain the best outcome they can for themselves with mutually agreed treatment plan. So we talked about comprehensive care, that is both evidence-based medicine and the art of medicine. Now let's focus on my second fundamental that I want to focus today, that is interprofessional collaboration. So what is interprofessional collaboration in this case in healthcare? The World Health Organization defines it as multiple health workers from different professional backgrounds working together with patients, families, caregivers, and communities to deliver the highest quality of care. So when you practice medicine, please recognize and respect all your team members: front office person, medical assistant, nurse, nurse practitioners, physician, pharmacist, referral clerk, and everyone else. Work together, work well with everyone in your team. That is interprofessional collaboration. So let me share a real patient story to demonstrate my point. I take care of this elderly couple in their 80s. One day, the wife mentioned she has been paying a copay, like $150 a copay for an asthma inhaler. She has been suffering from asthma for many years. So she was on albuterol inhaler and also a corticosteroid inhaler. So she just mentioned that she was paying this copay, $150 for a month, and she actually just mentioned that as part of the conversation. So she was not really expecting anything from me. She just happened to mention that. And as usual, I was very busy in the clinic, and I knew my next patient was waiting. So certainly I could have proceeded to my next patient. However, I felt compelled to ask her some follow-up questions regarding the cost associated with the inhaler. I said, that is expensive. And I asked her, how many years that you have been paying that copay? And then she said, many years. During my follow-up questions, it was obvious she was having a very difficult time paying that copay. She was under the impression this was the only treatment option available. Then, based on my current evidence-based medicine knowledge, I knew there were other different, way to manage her asthma, and I knew there are some other inhalers available. So I told the patient, let me try to help you with the situation, and I assured her I will try to find an alternate way to manage her asthma and then come up with the solution. I knew it would take some time for me to find an answer because I had to deal with the insurance. So I sent her home and I said, I will get back to you with an answer. So at that time, I asked my medical assistant to make a call to the patient's pharmacy and transfer the call to me when the pharmacist was available to talk. Then I had a conversation with the pharmacist, and then after a while, with the help of my medical assistant and pharmacist, we were able to find a different inhaler, which was about $25, saving her about $125 monthly. So I called the patient at the end of the clinic and shared the news, and she was just delighted and grateful. That sure made my day, and it was a rewarding experience. So why am I sharing this story? This is an example of comprehensive care to a patient through interprofessional collaboration. Evidence-based medicine, the art of medicine, and interprofessional collaboration all were used to deliver care to this patient. The most rewarding part of the story happened weeks later, when the couple returned to the clinic after a few weeks for their care. They mentioned they just celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary. Then they said during the anniversary they had a gathering with their families, and then they told their family members how I helped them with the much less expensive inhaler. So I told them, that is something very little, and I'm glad that I was able to help. Then I realized they wanted to share more, so I let them speak. Then they thanked me for sitting on the chair every time when I have an appointment with them. They thanked me for making a phone call to them after hours regarding the new treatment plan. They were very grateful that I always take time to listen to their concerns. I also want to share one other thing that they mentioned. They said, you remind us our first doctor. She was our primary care provider about 50 years ago. She always sat down during appointments, called us when there was an important matter, and always listened to us. And then they said, it's nice to see these qualities from someone again. So I admit, the art of medicine can be challenging at times, mainly when we need to see many patients, when we are facing provider shortages, dealing with complex patients. This is just a few things that we challenge when we practice medicine. Yet, I encourage you to keep this message in mind as you have worn the white coat today and thereafter during the rest of the PA training and clinical practice. So on this significant milestone, as you are honored with your white coat, I am encouraging you to make a commitment to practice medicine with both comprehensive care and interprofessional collaboration. Today, during this white coat ceremony, I am celebrating the PA profession, you, and also your program. According to this year's US News and World Report, PA rose to the #1 spot as the best job and the best healthcare job in the US. That is simply a remarkable achievement. I know you will have a great rewarding profession as a PA. I am very optimistic about your future. I firmly believe if I meet you all in a few years, you will have touched many lives and done remarkable things in the field of medicine. That is a statement I make without a hesitation because of two reasons. My number one reason, you have worked very hard to get into PA school. You have faced challenges and have made sacrifices to get this milestone. Perhaps you probably question whether you'll be able to make it through PA school, but you have persevered so far, and I am confident you will continue to persist. Let's look at the PA school acceptance rate for a moment. Out of 100 applicants, only about 5% students get admitted to PA programs. In general, the acceptance rate nationwide is about 3 to 8%, and you are one of them. I know you are very, very smart. That is why you are here. And having said that, please don't forget, you must study hard during the rest of the program. So what is my reason number 2? I have the total confidence about West Virginia School of Medicine's PA program leadership, faculty, and staff. I say that with real evidence. I have had conversations and meetings with a number of them. Dr. Mormon, Dr. Silverberg, Professor Salarsky, Professor Ludwig, and Professor Olges. I know they deeply care about peer education. Your program cares about evidence-based medicine, art of medicine, and collaboration. When you obtain your peer training from a program which believes in comprehensive care of the patient, you are in the best hands. I am aware that the training you will have, I'm very aware that is the training you will have from your program. So as the final point, I want families and friends to know, just like last several months, these students will continue to miss many social interactions, gatherings, and important family events during the rest of the PA training. Please don't take it personally, because that happens to almost every PA student and their families. They will be back to your lives again soon after they are done with the PA program. So please know, it is not that they have changed their personalities, it is just part of the deal being a dedicated PA student. Having said that, I have a friendly reminder that you have about 308 days until the graduation. So I repeat, about 308 more days until the graduation. So continue to dedicate yourself for the rest of the program, do your best, and families, and they are just very busy with the PA program, and that is why they might not have much interactions with you. So please know that. So families and friends, we all know that these students' journeys are impossible without your support. In reality, these students are here because of your support. I am sure this moment makes all of you very proud. All these 24 students, I'm sure they are grateful to all of you because they all know they have reached this milestone with your support. So I appreciate everyone's dedication in this audience, including family, friends, faculty members, staff, and the class of 2022 towards something very significant. Finally, thank you for allowing me to become part of this memorable moment. I had my white coat ceremony in 2007 in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I still remember that moment very well because it's such a special event. Please wear your white coat along with little pride and much more humility. Let your white coat be a gentle reminder to you of your calling as PAs. Remember comprehensive care of your patients and interprofessional collaboration. Welcome to medicine and best wishes on your journeys as PAs. Let's celebrate the joy of class of 2022. Have a delightful time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vijayasinja. I can't tell you how much I appreciate your coming to do this for us and being willing to join with us live. I wish that we could have had you in person, and I hope that if you ever make it out to the Morgantown area, you're so welcome here, and maybe we can get you back to do a talk in person another day. But thank you so much for your thoughtful and inspirational words. Stay well. So for the moment you've been waiting for, in just a few moments we're going to start awarding your white coats. But I just want to talk just a little bit more about the white coat itself. While the ceremony symbolizes the transition of your education from the classroom to the clinical setting, the white coat itself is a powerful symbol. Over the years, and depending on perspective, the white coat has symbolized different things: commitment to patients, compassion, healing, cleanliness, professionalism, and empathy. I think most of all, though, the white coat should be thought of as a symbol of the trust that your patients will place in you. When patients come to see you, they need to trust that you're putting aside your biases and your own needs, and that you're advocating on their behalf. Patients also trust that you're continuing your education, maintaining your skills, and always treating them based on current evidence. Something we maybe don't think of as often is that when they come to you for care, patients trust that you're being honest about what you know and what you don't know. Confidence in clinical knowledge and skills is something that every healthcare provider hopes to achieve. But it occurred to me recently, this is why I like talking to you all, that confidence is not at all related to knowing everything or knowing more than another provider. Confidence is much more about being comfortable with what you know and what you don't know, and being willing to seek help when needed. Let me say that one more time. Confidence is about being comfortable with what you know and what you don't know. I hope you will make it your goal to be comfortable with your level of knowledge, and if you do this, I believe you will truly feel confident. I hope that the white coat you're about to receive will always be a reminder to be careful with the trust your patients place in you. So in just a moment, I'm going to begin reading your names and ask that you come up on the stage to sign the physician assistant oath and receive your white coats. Courtney Ammond. Brown. Charles Burrows. Victoria Cook. Chelsea Dunlap. Lane Hartnell. Julia Hayes. Demetrios Joannou. Kelsey Lusk. Destiny Noel. Hannah Poole. Lauren Prophet. Alexius Ramsey. Skylar Sade. Jennifer Sikander. Scubon. Rachel Fowl Larson. Jason Truman. How about one more big round of applause for the WVU Physician Assistant Class of 2022. Congratulations. Okay, at this time, I'm going to ask you all to stand. Students, to please stand and recite the Physician Assistant Professional Oath with Professor Ludwig.
So we'll recite the oath together. I will just guide you. Ready? I pledge to perform the following duties with honesty and dedication. I will hold as my primary responsibility the health, safety, welfare, and dignity of all human beings. I will uphold the tenets of patient autonomy, beneficence, non-maleficence, and justice. I will recognize and promote the value of diversity. I will treat equally all persons who seek my care. I will hold in confidence the information shared in the course of practicing medicine. I will assess my personal capabilities and limitations, striving always to improve my medical practice. I will actively seek to expand my knowledge and skills, keeping abreast of advances in medicine. I will work with other members of the healthcare team to provide compassionate and effective care of patients. I will use my knowledge and experience to contribute to an improved community. I will respect my professional relationship with the physician. I will share and expand knowledge within the profession. These duties are pledged with sincerity and upon my honor. Congratulations.
At this time, I want to play a short message many of you probably also know him as the coronavirus czar, and he's really been extremely helpful in guiding our state through this crisis. So if this looks okay.
Hi, I'm Clay Marsh, and I am the Vice President. And although I am so sorry I can't be here in person with you during this really amazing day for your white coat ceremony, I did want to make sure that I was able to share my thoughts with you and tell you how proud we all are of each of you. Having a physician's assistant program now at West Virginia University has really allowed us to envision a real change in how we are going to provide health for the people of West Virginia, how we are going to help deliver better health care to all of our citizens. And that is really, the key for having that happen as you. And I hope that each of you appreciates this day and appreciates the amazing work you've done to put yourself in this position. I also hope that all of your family members and if any of you are married, your spouses, also understand how grateful we are for them and entrusting you in our keep for this period of time that you're going to be training. And I know that with you as future healthcare providers for all of us in West Virginia's future looks much brighter and much healthier. So thanks so much. Godspeed, congratulations, and I'll look forward to being in person with you really soon.
Challenge us in so many ways, but it has also taught us important lessons. One of the biggest lessons, I think, is that we can persevere and come out stronger. We can persevere and come out stronger as long as we keep our mission and goals in mind. In your future career as a medical provider, you will face challenges, both personal and professional, but I hope you'll remember the lessons learned here and stay true to your mission to improve the health of your patients and use your knowledge as a medical professional to advocate on behalf of your patients. I hope you continue to take advantage of every opportunity to learn in the clinical setting because, as you've probably seen already in just the past 2 months, these learning opportunities abound. I wish you the best as you continue in your clinical education and can't wait to see you back here on campus again soon. Just a couple things before we conclude. I want to thank Julie Piasek, Catherine Belcher, and Emma Hart for assistance in planning this ceremony. And a big thanks to Dr. Eugene Chang for taking care of the live streaming so that all of your family and friends who couldn't be here in person are able to celebrate with you. And again, we hope to see them in Morgantown next May when you all graduate less than a year. I do want to mention just one other thing before we leave. I have a confession to make, and that is that about 1.5 years ago, at your orientation in January, I found a new love. My husband is here, and I think he may suspect this too, because I talk about this man quite frequently. His name is Gus. You may have heard, or may not have heard, that Gus is now the subject of a children's book, and I wanted each of you to have a copy, so we have one waiting for you when you leave. Professor Ludwig also found a picture of you all with Gus, so it's tucked inside. You'll find that picture, so just be careful when you pick it up. Okay. So hopefully you can share this book with any little ones in your life, or maybe keep it for your office someday in your waiting room. Just hope you enjoy it, and just a little memory of our orientation together. Okay. So that really concludes our ceremony. But just again, before you all leave, before students leave, if we could get a picture on stage, and then we'll also do some nice pictures out in the pylon. I want to get a picture of you holding your Gus book. Thank you all so much, and congratulations, and I can't wait to see you all again.
Best